Chelsea versus Arsenal, the battle at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. Now, I think this is the clash that is going to decide where the title is going. If Arsenal wins this game, I don't see anybody catching them again. And both teams are coming off the back of very impressive Champions League victories. So they should be pumped and ready for this game. Everything I'm going to say here is guesswork and permutations based on what we know about the teams previously. But don't take my word for it. Take anything I say with a pinch of salt, because both Arteta and Maresca are disciples of Guardiola. They are the most tactical managers in the league after Guardiola. So I expect a lot of surprises. I expect them to spring surprises. But I'm just trying to rationalize what I think will happen. Look at the lineup to begin with. Now, I'm starting initially from how they both set up from their Champions League clash in midweek. One thing I'm going to say is, I don't think Arteta would want to start Luis Kelly in this game. Luis Kelly had a horrible time against Michael Olise in midweek. And if Chelsea does start Estevao, I don't know if they would. I don't expect Maresca to start Estevao. But if he does, Luis Kelly is going to have issues with Estevao as well. So I believe off the bat, Calafiori should go in there. Then another wonder for me is whether he's going to bring Odegaard into this game and sacrifice Trossard. But given the form that Trossard has been goal-wise, maybe start Odegaard on the bench. I don't think this is the game where Odegaard should be getting minutes in his leg. Again, permutations. Kopama is potentially available for Chelsea. But I don't think, again, this is the game where he should be getting minutes in his leg. I would think Maresca would opt for a stronger midfield, would opt to have a fight. Because what I have seen from all the analysts who have looked at this game and analyzed it as well, who have previewed this game, everybody is gearing up for a midfield battle. We all think that is where the battle would be. I don't expect both teams to be able to make progress from the middle. Because usually, if Estevao doesn't play in this game, I see Delap coming in as a number 9. Let me put that out there. Again, it's guesswork. But we all know how Chelsea likes to build. Taking the wingers out wide, and then trying to invert somebody into midfield. Invert one of the fullbacks into midfield. Now, what I expect, going by what Arsenal did against Bayern, I expect that Chelsea will not be able to progress the ball. In fact, not just Chelsea, both teams should not be able to progress the ball through the middle. Because I expect them to just go 1v1 and try to cancel everybody out and go as aggressively as they possibly can. And when you are pressing high in this manner, you want to make sure that you are able to take on everybody that the opponent has on the pitch. Potentially, you will leave Rice somewhere to be able to mop up any loose balls. And then I expect Chelsea to do the same when Arsenal tries to build up. So essentially, I expect this entire middle of the pitch to be impregnable, impassable. It will just be a messy battle. So everybody would now need to play the ball out wide. Chelsea will need to find an outlet either with Gusto. But again, I still expect that at the end of the day, both teams will cancel each other out. I am expecting the game to be closer to what we had with Arsenal versus Liverpool earlier in the season. I refuse to analyze that game because I said it was the most boring football game I've ever seen. Both teams set up to not lose that game. Now, what I'm thinking would happen here again is both teams will set up to not lose the game because, let's be frank, why do you want to win this game? Why do you want to take risks to win this game? Because back to the tactics board, any high-pressure football like this, where you are going 1 versus 1 all over the pitch, you are going to have problems. The problem is that you are going to have gaps all over the pitch, and both teams have players who can exploit that gap. You don't want to give a gap for Pedro Neto to run into. You don't want to give a gap for Saka to run into. So at the end of the day, if both teams are able to cancel each other out like this, then it will be up to the individual battle, the 1 versus 1 battle. One of the key battles we would like to look at is Saka versus Cucurella. How does that go? I have seen Cucurella do a job on Saka before. Will he be able to repeat it this time? And then another battle we need to look at again is the battle in midfield. The battle between Caicedo and Rice. Not a 1v1 battle now, but a battle for who is able to win the most balls in that midfield, because that will be key for any team. Winning the ball centrally and creating a turnover. Who gets to win the ball in midfield? Who will wrestle control of that midfield and hold the game and push the other team back? And then on the right-hand side of Chelsea as well, I expect whichever winger Chelsea plays there, whether it's Neto or whether it's Estevao, I expect a heavy duel between that winger and Calafiori. Those are the three battles I'm looking at in this game. And when I'm going to be taking notes in the game, those are the things I'm going to be looking at. And again, I was talking about something before I digressed. Why would either of these teams want to win this game? Arsenal can finish this game with a 4-point lead. That is assuming Manchester City win their game. They can still be 4 points on top of the table. They can finish this game 9 points in front on top of the table. They can also finish that game only 3 points in front of the table. That way, they are going to be on top of the table when this game ends. So why would you want to risk everything? Because if you allow Chelsea to cut that gap to 3 points, then all of a sudden, the pressure is now on you. The next game you lose, you will go to third. So I see a reason why Arteta would want to play a very conservative game. Exactly the way he set up against Liverpool, which was quite brilliant because they only lost that game eventually by a ridiculous free kick from Szoboszlai. If they can repeat the same here, they might get away with 1 point, which, if I'm Arteta, 1 point from this game is okay. Arsenal are clearly a better team, but let's leave that aside for now. For Maresca as well, why would Maresca want to win this game? Because they're taking a lot of risk to win this game against Arsenal. You are playing the best team in the league. You are playing the best team in Europe, probably. If you take that risk and you lose this game, you go 9 points behind. Not good for anybody. If you draw, you remain 6 points behind the leaders. You are still in the race. If I thought Chelsea are in the title race. But if you cut this gap to 3 points as well, the only thing it's going to do now is now going to put Chelsea's name in that title contention. Because now, everybody is doubting Chelsea, which is a good thing. Chelsea are not consistent. Chelsea cannot challenge for the title. I am in that club as well. It's a good thing for Chelsea because it takes the pressure off Maresca, takes the pressure off the players. Anything they do is a bonus. But the moment you go 3 points near Arsenal, then the spotlight is now on you. Everybody will drag you into that title race, whether you like it or not. It's more pressure. I don't think Chelsea are caught out for that pressure now. So it's better to remain 6 points behind. Allow Arsenal to stumble on their own. If you overtake them in January or February, you just have one stretch of the season left to have a go at the title. So it is in everybody's interest for this game to end in a draw. So again, I expect both teams to set up to not lose this game. At once, try to bypass that midfield by playing long balls in behind. Then try to win the second ball. Try to force high turnovers. If you don't succeed with the initial press, fall back into a mid block or a low block. This is another tactical angle that both teams can approach this game from. But in all, I'm going to say this. I'm not in the business of predicting football matches. I'm not making predictions as to the scoreline. But what I will say is this. Arsenal are the better team going into this game. Chelsea fans, calm down. Before you hit the unfollow button, calm down. Look, Arteta had 6 years to build this squad. 6 good years of winning only 1 trophy. If that trophy he won was not with his team, it was with Unai Emery's team. 6 years. So they are far ahead of Chelsea in terms of their development. This is only Maresca's second season. And this Chelsea team is a yo-yo team. They can beat Bayern, beat Man City, beat Liverpool, beat everybody today, and then go and lose to Stoke City the next day. That is who Chelsea are. I would not be shocked if Chelsea beat Arsenal 3-0 in this game. I also would not be shocked if they lose the game 5-0. That is Chelsea. So you are not at Arsenal's level yet. You will get there, but you're not there yet. But that's not to exclude the fact that Chelsea have won games you do not expect them to win. They have beaten teams you did not expect them to beat. So anything can happen in this game. I just want a nice context. I just want us to be able to come back on Sunday night and analyze the game and drop the video on Monday. So stay with me. If you are watching this video and you don't know what I'm talking about, tactical analysis is what I do on this channel. Hit the follow button. On Monday, that video will drop and we will see how it all went down. Stay with me.